to be here, to be invited by this great organization. And it's really an honor to speak on behalf of tens of thousands of masterpiece change makers, local change makers in more than 40 countries. I'm not an expert. I don't have a job, but a passion. I want to share the passion, and this story is actually about me and you. In between, I will tell about our model, our projects, what we do. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of commitment. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And there is synchronicity in the air or in the organization of the calendar of this morning, because Masterpiece is born in the DNA of the SDG 16, the peace and justice. A masterpiece is not the peace as opposite to war, but as opposite to aggression. Because the lack of perspective, what can you do when you don't have any perspective? When you have to raise your children without perspective, what are you going to do? But first, let me introduce you a little about myself. I'm from the Netherlands. Every time I return to the Netherlands, I'm really grateful. It's almost paradise compared to 190 other countries. And you know who has been in the Netherlands ever? The 2, 4, 5, 6. There are 17 billion. We are a small country, 17 billion inhabitants. We do have 19 billion bikes. My house is 7 meters below sea level, but we are great in building dikes, and we make money of it. So there is the missionary and the tradesman in every Dutchman. And I think you know about the Dutch soccer team. So 1 million Dutch people play soccer out of the 17. The women's soccer team won the European Cup. It's the fastest growing sport in the Netherlands, the women's soccer. And I myself, as an amateur, I was a soccer player. And after my knee hurt too much, I became a soccer coach. And at that time, I was in the 30s, I learned that soccer is a tool to bring people together. No matter whether you're black or white, highly educated, lowly educated, it is winning together, it is losing together. And this Moroccan guy, he was my best scorer, top scorer. And they blamed him, but he was my best team player. So I don't know whether it's nature or nurture that founded me, and that is who I am, and that is also back to basic, why I left business and joined Masterpiece. I use my business experience to create concepts, to create ideas, to innovate and to coach. I will come back to that later on. So that soccer helped me a lot. And the title is 7 billion talents. I learned 7.2 billion talents, not 7 billion issues. This is the one exceptional. This is my grandson. I took the picture last Saturday. So he is, of course, the best talent ever, I can say you. But we owe him. I'm a grandfather. What is his future? And really, we have a last resort, that is to co-create on sustainable development goals. Business, governments, civil society. So let's go for it. Another guy, I mean the black guy, that's Peter. He did his internship twice in my office in the Netherlands. The guy to the right is the former prime minister. But the guy to the Peter, he's to me the important. Because for him, I have a job and a passion. He was born in the slums in Nairobi. At the age of 4, he had to raise his 2 younger brothers because he doesn't know who his father is. He helped his 2 younger brothers of 2 and 3 years to survive. And together, with some nudge, not with the money, but the nudging and support and creating network, he organized this October a youth leadership summit. So we can make it. We don't have to wait for the UN or an SDG. We can do it together. The talents are there, but we have to see them. Then a little about Masterpiece. I think in this morning you saw waves. I also believe in waves. And I believe in the wave also when I have alignment with nature. You see the wave, it starts in the spring. Summer is harvesting time. Then at the top of the blossoming, it's autumn. It's the start of already the winter and the dying. That is the living mechanism of a company, of an organization. A Masterpiece started in 2010-11. I joined in 2012. It was just a dream. And always look for the next wave, also in your organization and in your structure. Now we are in 40 countries, and we have to see how we can cope with that one, with that growth, and we will grow exponential. In the first, and the founder of Masterpiece taught me a one-liner, success is a moving target. Because Masterpiece was started in 2010-11 with the aim to have a huge concert, like Live Aid. You remember Live Aid? A big concert, and then it was aimed to be around the pyramids in Cairo before the Arabic Spring. And you could not buy a ticket, but you had to do something for peace, and you had to prove it. But there came so many letters in that I'm doing this for peace, can I join the concert? That we said, oh, so many applications, it would be a waste to have this one-off concert and then say goodbye. So after the idea of the concert, we thought about creating a movement, not at the start. So always be agile in how you go and what is your next step. That is the next waves. And now, in this wave, in 2018, we are in 40 countries. We implemented something around 350 projects. But it is not, I'd like to discuss later on whether we cannot wait for the thorns to be away. And we have to stand up now. That is my line. Because the dilemmas, the urgency is big. Let's do a little quiz. How many refugees are there worldwide? What do you think? How many? Just a gamble. 30 million? How many? 500 million, yeah. According to the UN, but it's a lot. It's way too much. It's 68 million. We talked about, let's say, the lack of opportunities. You address it better than this small picture. But I think that is the key reason. And with the digitalization, you know that you lack. 20 years ago, you didn't know. Maybe you were happy. I don't know. But you know that you lack. And now, how many people do you think live below $1.9? Is that known? That is improving, actually. What do you think? It's 1 on 10. 10 years ago, it was 1 on 4. So we are improving. But don't we agree it's unacceptable? Because the 1.9 is too low. It's just a math. Unacceptable. Then the weapon industry. Who has the best guess? How many dollars are spent per year on weapons? 100 billion. Who offers more? Yeah. Every year, not just every year. What do we do with it? When there is hunger, there's always weapons. How can that happen? That doesn't make sense in my mind. So 1.7, 50 billion. I can't speak the word. And of course the climate, and we misuse Mother Earth. We don't have to calculate, we all know. So the challenges, they are beyond. We cannot say to Mr. Modi in your country or to Mr. Rutte in my country, "Hey, your government just solve it." We cannot wait for business to step in, but my hope is really on business, on the CSR and the SDG, because I know there is money for you. My background says there's money for you, and the consumer is a citizen. So that is, I think, a holy combination. So let's go for it. And the global trends, it puts society under pressure. It takes you and me. That's my bottom line. That's why my title is, there are 7 billion talents. Like my Luca, the grandson, he is born, every baby is beautiful. Somewhere along the line, there's not always the beauty. So it takes you and me. You cannot afford, and by the way, it's fun. So our vision, 7 billion talents, not 7 billion issues. Our mission is to inspire, to connect, and to create perspective. The core values, easy to speak, difficult to do. Positivity and impartiality. How can you be positive when your brother is killed, when your sister is raped, when you don't feel any listening to your situation? But still, I'm not naive. We know the dilemmas. We can look back in anger. You're entitled to do so. But stand up and act from a positive side. We hope we can mobilize the silent majority, who in general is open to co-create. That is the resources, the billions of resources we have as society. We are strong. When we refuse or we act, we can make the difference. You can make the difference with your dollar or your rupee. Choose. And we have the alignment in the 350 projects a year, mainly with education, sustainable cities and communities, and of course the peace and justice, which is our DNA. Every project is based on that value, on that ambition. Actually, we focus on 3 types of activities. So in the beginning it was only music, but since a year of 4 in the last wave, 3 activities. Via music, art, play, dance, and play can be soccer. We bring people together. So we don't have soccer games with only the fans of Manchester United. No, we bring the opposites or the tribes together. We use it as a tool to inspire, to connect, as a tool to have a local dialogue. So we are in 40 countries. That's a big framing. We are in a area, in a city, in a country. As local as possible, have the dialogue with the youngsters, with the opposites, with the government, with some SMEs, small companies, to have the discussion, to have the dialogue. How can we create local perspective? As the bottom line is, when there is no local perspective, in my country you call it polarization, populism in Europe, extremism in other countries. It's the same cause. This one I will skip. This one I will skip. This is the Masterpiece Foundation, one slide on our model. So I always draw this one. I'm at the bottom of the pyramid, so we're servant leadership. The local teams, like Dr. Manu from Orissa, he is my colleague in Orissa, he creates his own plan because he knows best what is needed in Orissa, not me. We license his NGO, and so there are 50 NGOs licensed, and we provide them with knowledge, in principle not with money. We think about how can we campaign regional, local, global. I will show you some examples. How can we create concepts? Because those 350 projects, maybe 200 are just a one-off project. But maybe 80, they are rough diamonds, which works in Orissa. Maybe it works in Kathmandu or in Medellin. So we are very inspirational, and back office, we are a knowledge management office. We see, hey, your project, and maybe you can connect the two of you. We can connect passion, connect tools, connect and reuse. I think that is the powerful. In my option and my idea, we can grow. There's no limitation in adding talents. So we create campaigns, concepts, funding, impact together. That is our motto. And what's in it for the clubs, for the teams, for the local change makers? You are guided in your personal development, in your team development, and you are helped with best practices. And of course, creating a positive network that can be so strong. In nature, what grows in nature? What gets attention? So let's highlight the positive. In the news, there is how many people are killed, not how many people are born. It's a strange situation. Let's put energy, attention, listening, and then it will grow. I will give you a few examples. The first slide, you saw the colorful slide that was in Medellin. Medellin is known of the drugs, right? 25 years ago, it was the most violent city in the world, Medellin. According to the World Economic Forum, today, it is part of the 10 most innovative cities in the world. There are 6 success factors that help this transformation. One of the most important is culture. I will come back to that. So using soft power to bring people together. But of course the drugs cartels are there. In the city it's quite clean, so to speak, but in the mountains more cocaine is sold than ever. And we work with teams in the mountains. You know, 1 kilo of cocaine for the farmer, it brings him $260. You know street value? 100,000. 260, 100,000. So in between, there is a lot of benefit to people who want to make money. And you know, you see the shoes. Does anyone know that story? Because in the drugs cartels in the mountains, they have their territory. And I kill you, your son, and I hang his shoes on the line. That is the split between your territory and our territory. In my team, we have 4 teams over there. Every member of the team has 1 family member shot. This is really harsh. And our answer is music. Dance, bring people together. And in those mountains, I know by experience the power of music to inspire, to connect, to mobilize, etc. Over there, it's life-changing because the drugs cartel allow youngsters to dance in that area and they are not threatened or whatever. But 10 years ago, they were killed. And now there is a situation of stabilization, of appreciation a little, that those artists, talents can do their work. And they harmonize. To me, Medellin, Colombia, is one of the examples that we can do it. Our club leader of Zimbabwe, Abraham, he was there, and his bottom line was, nothing is impossible. And Zimbabwe, a guy from Zimbabwe saying nothing is impossible from Colombia, yeah, then we can be strong, because Zimbabwe is not nice now. This is the poverty. You all know. I don't have to tell you. And what we do, we build schools. We provide teachers training. We create tools. We help them. Because the culture, this is in Nepal, in the culture in Nepal, the parents don't like that children go to school because they miss one labor force. But poverty, education, SDG 4, key. This is Burundi, could also be Zimbabwe, could also be Malawi. So these guys are angry. They don't choose right, but I can understand. What we do with Ignace in the green shirt, he's the club leader. 4 years ago, we had an idea. We organized soccer tournaments to bring between opposites. So you play at enemies' playground, and they come to you, and the canteen, or where you have the refreshment, is the safe zone. 4 years ago, he was jailed by this ID, because of this ID. They took his passport, which is a drama in Africa when you don't have a passport. But he continued with this team. Last year, for the third time, 385 youngsters, vulnerable, angry youngsters, play together. And what we do then, it is so simple to do, so risky to start, is that we play games during 3 months, 10 times at your side, 10 times my side. After the soccer game, we have a barbecue or we have some drinks, and then you have a dialogue with the local mayor, with some SMEs, and to discuss in the local ecosystem how can we create perspectives. So soft power is difficult, but it's so strong. And this introvert guy, I've met him 3 times. He doesn't speak much, but he acts with life risk. And now the media comes in, and you see the situation is 10% better than last year, 10% better than the year before. Yeah, you see the refugees. Whole Europe is shaking because of refugees. All the refugees from Africa, they know what can happen. They take the boat coming to Italy. That's part of the 68 million. But so you have to be desperate to take a boat with a 50% chance that you drown. That's not the luck seeker, as they frame it in my country with some political parties, or the Prime Minister of Hungary. They're not luck seekers. They are desperate. So you have to build in their country. You have to create perspective with them. And Peter, I told you about, Peter showed this morning a great wall. It was in Oman, or Dubai. We created the concept, my colleague in Cairo. That was in Cairo. They created a wall at the end of Mubarak's phase. And the people were angry that the wall was there. But our core value is positive. So when you want to break down the wall and you're positive, that doesn't match, right? What they did is they painted the wall as if the wall was not there. So the original view was on that wall. So there was no wall, because you could see the other side. That triggered her, Ragda is her name, to create walls of connection. What we do, we painted, and we as youngsters from schools painted, 170 walls in 30 cities last year. What we do is we give education, master classes on what is your dream of connection. What's your hope? What's your dream? Visualize it, express it. And all those, there are 200, or in this there are 10,000 students, they created their painting. Of course, not a beautiful painting, but it is a beautiful painting. And then we have role models in, graffiti artists. And they say, when I have a look at your visualization, I think this is what you mean. This is in Rotterdam, and you see a kind of mosaic. And in this school, 10,000 youngsters, 60% non-Dutch. They say we feel stereotyped, so that's why the mosaic is there. But we want to grow. So when you have a look at the end picture, then you see the stairs. They want to grow. You know, in Rotterdam, this is the most clean wall ever. They fight you when you harass their wall. It's their wall. And I know we talked about it briefly. You can change cities. This is so easy. You can color the world. And one of the last examples, We are running a big project related to minorities who are on the run. And I'll explain it a little of the 4 building blocks. We call it ACT. ACT in the sense, go for it. ACT in the sense of artists create together. In the sense that everyone has a talent. So even me, I'm an artist, which makes me happy. Of course, I'm not a professional artist, but I can create. So the concept we use in many countries, cross countries, is ACT. What we do in the 5 flags you see in Morocco. Morocco is a tremendous brain drain on one hand and refugees to Europe on the other hand. Albania, Georgia, and Bosnia-Herzegovina. We twine with the Netherlands, and we paint 32 walls of connection. I truly believe in the second building block, which is storytelling. What is your dream? We give them, mostly they have a smartphone, no matter how poor. And we ask them, sit in your bedroom and tell to yourself in this audio, video, vlog, blog, what is your dream? And when you listen to those, and we committed to the funder 800 stories in 5 countries, you get tears what their dream is. Impressive and so simple. But they don't think they can reach that. So we open up with storytelling. And we use concerts to bring opposite role models together, Croatian, Serbians. They play together. Not everyone likes that. They are bashed on the social media. So it's fun and it needs guts. And then the 4th element, and then we bring together events, the dialogues. So the culture is for opening up, to be inspired, to dare, to connect, and then bring together with the local mayor, with some companies, and then have the discussion. Why is the minority in Georgia, that are the Armenians, or in Morocco, the Moroccans of the Rif Mountains? Bring them together. Hey, they're not so bad as I thought. We have more in common than we thought. And that is, I think, the bottom line of Masterpiece. We look for what we have in common, not what separates us. And 7 billion people have a lot in common. We have a lot of power. So, my call is, go for it. It takes me. I will do it my utmost. Dr. Manu does his utmost. I think this whole conference shows that we say we will do our utmost. And do it. Thank you.